Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of ClueCon Weekly, sponsored with SignalWire. This week with us, we have Bhaskar Metikel, founder and owner at Vindaloo Softtech, a company specializing in development and products that revolve around various open source solutions, especially in voice over IP. Thank you for joining us today, Bhaskar.
Thank you, Luca. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be a part of ClueCon Weekly. I'm very
Oh,
honored to be on this show.
oh yeah, it's going to be fun. Cool. So, would you like to give us a quick introduction about yourself to start with?
Yeah, sure. My name is Bhaskar Metikel, and I am the co-founder and director at Vindaloo Softtech Private Limited. We are based in Ahmedabad, uh, Gujarat, and we have been in the business since 5 years. And we are mainly focusing on VoIP application development services. And to introduce myself, I would like to say that I've completed my graduation from India. Then I went to Australia to complete my MBA. After pursuing MBA, I came back and I started my own business here in India. So mainly, I'm taking care of marketing, finance, and HR in our company. So technically, I'm not that sound.
Mhm.
So so there would be some questions I might need to skip. But yeah, I would be happy to give you answer whatever I know about the WebRTC and the FreeSWITCH and all VoIP technologies.
No problem at all. Yeah,
Okay.
cool. So that mm, there are a bit of there are many companies in the space that are trying to develop stuff on top of open source stack, etc.
Correct.
So what's your main go-to? Like, how do you describe your company as? What's the differentiator here?
We are a VoIP application development company. So we work mainly in FreeSWITCH, WebRTC, Kamailio, OpenSIPs. So VoIP, you can say, is our forte. Recently, we have also started like working in e-commerce, in CRM as well. So if I say in VoIP, we have developed a solution like multi-tenant PBX. We are working in IVR project. We are working in call center project. So there are a few projects we are working in VoIP. Along with, we have recently, awarded with one of the OpenSIPs project. So we are working on that as well.
Nice. And well, since you're mainly, so are you mainly a product or a consultant company?
We are mainly a consultant company, but slowly we are also developing our own products. We have developed like VoIP billing product. Along with, we are developing contact center product. We are also developing e-learning product, which is ongoing development. But because of all this funding and all these things, we have to move the resources from product to services because we are self-funded company. So it becomes difficult to launch the product at one go. So slowly we are developing the products, yes, as well. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, let's start from the consulting aspect.
Okay.
Can you give us a profile of your typical customer? What do they approach you for, and how you handle a project typically?
Okay. Mainly they approach us for the custom developments. Let's say if someone is using PBX from another company, and they are not happy with that company, or say they are not happy with the way the services are provided, they approach us, to do some kind of modification, some problem fixing. Then if they like our services, then they give us the entire project to us. That is mainly that is where we mainly focus. We also develop sketch development as well. And we are working on Fusion PBX a lot. Fusion PBX is we have many customers in Fusion PBX with whom we are working with.
Oh, interesting. So you do a lot of fusion work, if I
Yeah, Fusion, yes.
right? Cool. So what the well, first of all, what do you like about, you're not technical, so I'll go ask. Why did you start from Fusion? Like, what is it that you like about Fusion PBX, which for the few people who don't know, is an open source PBX
Mhm.
product based on FreeSWITCH?
Yes, actually, what happens, when we started the company, we started with IVR project. It was a small project, but continuously it got more and more development work. So simultaneously we did some marketing, some approach to the clients. So some of the inquiry came to us. So they were already in the Fusion PBX. So they asked us to do some modification and all these things. So we learned the Fusion PBX. So we are doing development on that. So after when we were developing in Fusion PBX, we came to know that we can also do free switch as well. So now we are developing our own product in FreeSWITCH from scratch. That is a PBX project.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
So what else if you know, I mean, you might have you probably know this some of these. What kind of open source solutions do you use? Like what's the main platforms you use? Like which languages you work on, which databases are you using, that kind of stuff. That's always interesting because people starting out and learning might need to know what's best to start learning, right? For if you want to
Correct.
be hired by you. So what do I need to know to be hired by you?
Okay, so as you know, PS recently started working in FreeSWITCH as well. So we are doing development in C++, Lua. We are also working in OpenSIPs. So custom development and in WebRTC as well. We have done a lot of projects in WebRTC recently. After the pandemic, the remote working and video conferencing, video calling, all demands went up. So there are many clients who has approached us to develop these video conferencing solutions like now. So we already had e-learning platform for one of our Australian clients. So we showed them that platform. So based on that, they gave us work in WebRTC. Along with WebRTC, we are also working in Node.js. So this is how we are working right now.
So yeah, WebRTC. That's interesting.
Mhm.
well, as everybody else, you're seeing a lot of requests for WebRTC.
Mhm.
But
Correct.
what exactly are people building in general? Like, since you're a consultant, you end up
Mhm.
seeing maybe the more interesting projects because, generally speaking, a company just wanting to use some communications will pick a ready-made platform such as Signal Wire Work or whatever. So, what are the most interesting WebRTC usages you've seen?
Actually, when we talk to the a potential prospect, they all want to compete with Zoom from day
Oh
one.
yeah.
This is very interesting. No, I mean, Zoom has been in the industry since I mean 20 years, right? So and from the I mean they all want Zoom the other day. I want to start the project today. I need Zoom tomorrow, right? So they
Yeah.
want to compete with the Zoom. So they want like one-to-one conferencing, one-to-many conferencing. They want to add like hundreds of thousands of people in the conferencing, video conferencing. I know. So this is something which is very I mean unexpected from our side and unexpected from the customer as well. It is not possible to build Zoom, I mean 1 or 2 months. So that is the challenge we face in WebRTC. Uh, but yeah, there are many customers who understand, that it takes time. So we started with one-to-one conference, then we
Mhm.
did like one-to-many conference. We are also doing many-to-many, but there are some challenges we are facing in video conferencing platforms. So yeah, we are working on that. The R&D is going on.
That's an interesting point you state. You're absolutely right. Many people end up starting from I'd like to compete with Zoom,
Yes.
which, to be fair, is not even that interesting as a product, if I may. Like, if you got what I mean, right? You could be doing far more interesting things using WebRTC, including integrating into system stuff. I've seen super interesting user cases where WebRTC was integrated in e-commerce. So you wanted to buy a pair of shoes or specialty sports equipment, especially, and you don't really know if that kind of roller skates will fit on your feet because it's special size, etc. So you can call someone and they'll ask you questions, etc. So I think that's more of something where a smaller company could compete as opposed to just building a another video conferencing tools. There's plenty, and I'm not saying that because we have one too, but I mean there's plenty that have this so I think there's still something to go in that regard. For example, e-learning, which leads me to ask you, you mentioned some projects and some products you have going on. One of them is an
Mhm.
e-learning platform. I'm
Correct,
very
correct.
interested about those, and especially the e-learning platform. So could you give us some more info about what your products are?
Okay, before I come to e-learning, I would just like to add, like, you said WebRTC we can use as a, kind of component to any product. Like, we have done recently a project on AR VR, AR VR. On top of that AR VR, we have built the WebRTC. I'll give you the example how it will work. The company already had a product in a VR, virtual reality. They have built this one, and they are big machines, right? They are big machines. They somehow they could by AutoCAD or 3D dimensions they developed a product on that machine. If let's say any sales consultant or say any customer service
Oh,
can be given remotely, right? So we have built this video conferencing platform, I mean video call platform on top of that VR. So the person sitting in any country, they can give the consultation on using this platform, and via mobile, mobile browser, or on the laptop, or on the desktop app. They can give this consultation, like what is the problem, how they can solve or they address the problem in the machine. So that was very interesting project we did for one of our client. It was a phase one. I think we are going for phase two now. So soon we will start that one, right? Now coming back to e-learning platform, we did this for one of our Australian client. He had, like, music, what you say, tuition classes. I mean, he
okay.
was a musician, so he asked us to build a platform where he can teach the student remotely. This is a pre-pandemic era I'm talking about. We have been working with him, like, before a pandemic happened. It is before 2020. So he approached us. He wanted to develop this platform, like he want to teach uh, the student remotely.
Mm,
So the student can subscribe to his lessons. So he can give, like, half an hour or 1 hour of time to the student, and they can collaborate, and he can teach online, right? So this is one of the agenda. Then what he did is that he added number of tutors, and a simultaneously number of students. So the students can now choose, like, any instrument, musical instrument, like guitar, saxophone, or say mouth organ. They can choose the tutor accordingly, and they can
mm.
yeah, they can choose the time as well, what time they are available. And they can give the lectures or say lessons, online lessons, tuitions kind of things. Okay, this was one of the part. Then the third phase came. In the third phase, he introduced, like, the recordings, like, we can store the recording, and later
Mhm.
the student can see the recording as well. So this is the way it worked. So now we have this fully e-learning platform available with us.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Mm.
that's a very interesting use case. Going back to the WebRTC case, yeah, that's the kind of usage I think
Yes.
WebRTC should have. I have heard of a similar project that a prospect is developing in our platform, where they're doing remote inspections for
Mm-hmm.
changing windows in houses. So when you
Mm-hmm.
want to know how much it will cost to change your windows, they can give you a quick price by
Mm-hmm.
having look up with the phone, like, please look at the corner, go down, show me the hinge, show me the handle. And that way they can give you a ballpark price, like this is going to cost $20,000 or $50,000 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're interested, there's a person coming in with actually takes the measurements, etc. And the I think what you mentioned in the aspects of augmented reality
Mm-hmm.
and tying into what is an existing business process is going to be a killer application of sorts, because it's going to be where we go from, hey, Luca and Bhaskar can meet and talk about everything, to something that's truly useful for everyday usage. And that's only really possible with WebRTC, to be honest, because it's everywhere. Plus,
Correct.
as a final side thought, edge computing is going to make it possible to build augmented reality applications at a fragment of the cost, because the computer is close to where you are. So it's all tying together. It's super interesting. So I'm happy there's someone building on that much on the edge of technology, because that's what's gonna be the future for sure. Yeah, about the
Correct. Correct.
learning, that the learning platform is still based on Fusion. Is that FreeSWITCH or using something else? What's the technical stack? What you know about it? I mean,
We were using, like, a Jitsi
mm,
for this platform. And in front end we are using PHP for now.
So my friend
Yeah.
Emil is going to be happy about you using Jitsi. Is the founder of the project. And we chat every day. It's a good friend of mine. Yeah, Jitsi is
Okay.
also great open source
Yeah.
platform for many things, and there's a lot you can do. So as a complete aside, I see
Mm.
that you have a solar CRM platform
Correct.
as part of
Correct.
their product offering. Just curious what that is, because my father works in the energy market and they use the kind of solution. So I'm just curious to hear about what it is.
Okay, again, this is one of the inquiry which we received from one of my Australian clients. So we developed this solution for him. Actually, they were using one of the CRM. They are into a solar business. They are selling the solar panels.
Yep.
To the customers. So the difficulty they were facing was, there was so much of information in that solar CRM product they were using. And there was another thing, like billing and other stuff. He has to log in like 3 or 4 portals to accomplish his task, like to update in CRM. So he approached me. He's one of my good friends, so he approached me, if I can develop this kind of solution. I said, why not, we can do it, huh? So we started working on that. Again, we have used in solar CRM, we have used Angular technology. So uh, we made it very easy for him. In a single portal, everything is available over there, so he can easily log in. He can update the customers. He can see what stage of the installation going on. Then he can also take the pics of of these uh, solar panel size and all these things from the integration we did for him. So we made his work very easy.
Cool. Yeah, that's always a. I mean, it sounds like it's an unglamorous area. Like people want to talk about the super complicated stuff, etc. But in reality, there is
Mm,
a lot going on in regards to simpler things that are really important. So that's important to have. Another
yes,
platform I'm really interested into is your unified communications offering.
yes,
Uh, as you know, building something like that is not easy at all. So I'm
correct.
curious to, well, first of all, what features does it offer? And second, the usual question: what's the stack there, and how? I mean, what's the open source parts of what you're using? What are they?
We are using FreeSWITCH. We are using FreeSWITCH again in the front end. We are using PHP. We are going with now. Earlier we used to go with VI1 and VI2. Now we are going with Laravel technology.
Mhm.
So we are integrating in PBX all the common features of PBX. We are integrating in that, and along with that we are integrating like mobile applications and the desktop application in our unified communication solution, which is still
What's
under
your?
development.
Oh, sorry, God.
Yeah. No, no, please go ahead.
What's your general go-to when it comes to mobile development? Do you do native development? I'm asking not aside from it
Mm,
being interesting, because I'm seeing
mm,
a shift in the market. Looks like
mm.
there's a lot of teams currently working on React Native, Vue stuff, even just Cordova. Like the native apps seem to have moved towards just when it's actually needed. Like some I don't know, video games need to be native because otherwise they don't work. But otherwise, what's your general stack? Just curious.
We are using React Native.
Oh yeah, that's and yeah, that's really a very good starting platform in my opinion. What is your
Mm,
so React Native? So you're doing cross platform, you're doing everything that
yes.
needs to be, and you're doing WebRTC applications on React Native.
Actually, no, not yet. We are using like a JS, JavaScript as of now. We haven't used React Native in WebRTC yet. No. Earlier, for the mobile application, we used to use like Linphone a lot, but we have stopped using Linphone now.
Oh yeah, Lymphone is yeah. I've heard that it's hard to use, it's hard to customize. It's a great starting point, but yeah, it's
Yes.
needs a little
Yes.
bit more work to be
Correct.
usable as a general. Though it's again still super good
Correct.
open source platform. So why not? Well, let's
Mm,
go into something you know even better. This is something I've been trying to do on the podcast more.
mm,
Feels like a lot of people have great ideas, and they come to SignalWire and for the APIs, they come to yourself for the development and the of the product. But it feels like a lot of teams have issues getting started with the marketing, like getting known. So how do you approach marketing? What are your favorite channels, and how would you tell someone who's started building a voice over IP product to start marketing?
Mainly, I use LinkedIn. LinkedIn
Mhm.
is my very favorite. Channel you can say. Apart from that, I do a lot of referencing work. Like if I'm working with the client, I ask them give good references to us, and
Mhm.
generally we get good references because our customer service is very excellent. I would definitely tell you. If you work with us, you will be you will get unexpected happiness. I can say, like all the customers who are working with us are working with like us since 3 4 5 years. They never left us. A few we can understand, right? Our
Oh yeah.
customer service is very strong point. So we get a lot of references from our customers, and we also do outbound marketing, like email marketing stuff. Sometimes I do make calls, and apart from that, we are very good at SEO. We get us a lot of inquiries coming in from the website.
Yeah, it feels like so word of mouth and in general being known in the market is a great way to go about it. And I agree with that. I come from consulting. I spent 10 years running a consulting business before I joined SignalWire, where I do somewhat the same thing really. And it feels like customer support and service is the most important thing because that gets you well, it gets you more customers, first of all, because your customers tell their friends, hey, working with Bhaskar was great, go talk to him.
Yes.
But it's also a matter of getting customers running faster when you're talking about products. If you build APIs like we do or products like you do, finished products, someone buys the product, but if there's nobody explaining it to them, maybe it
Hmm.
takes a month before they actually use it. That month is registering inside the company as maybe this product isn't that great, because it's taken us a long time. Well, it's not your fault. Product's great. It's
Hmm.
not our fault. API works great. But
Hmm.
guiding people and having good customer onboarding feels like to me as the quickest way to getting your first customers. Then, of course, you have to keep it up, and then it becomes a way to market yourself. So, LinkedIn, you don't do much like social networks like Facebook or Twitter, that kind of channels, or do you use them a little or not at all? Just curious because that's important for people.
We do. I mean, we have very good presence in Facebook. We have very good presence in Twitter, even LinkedIn, Instagram. But I'm not sure we are getting the inquiries out of the Facebook or LinkedIn, but
Mm.
we are getting the inquiries through SEO. So we are very strong in that part as well. I mean, we are doing very good in social media optimization as well. So we are available. We are available over there as well.
So how it feels like is that social networks get you recognition more than actual leads. Like
Uh,
when people run across your product on LinkedIn or
mm,
Google or in a blog post, they remember, hey, I saw this on Facebook too. And it makes it, makes it better, makes it, your brand more recognized. But I've heard that many people don't really get a lot of leads from Twitter and Facebook in particular. It's more
that
like
is right.
being
But
known.
yeah, that is right. But we get good branding on these platforms. Actually, I've seen many of my clients. They follow us. On Facebook and LinkedIn, they watch us. What we are doing, like kind of celebrations we are doing. And then we have actual meeting with them. They tell us, "Yeah, you did this celebration, last week. We saw your
Oh
pics
yeah.
in LinkedIn and Facebook." So they realize that the kind of people they are working with are very happy. We are keeping our resources very happy. So they are also happy. It reflects in their attitude as well. So it is very helpful to us.
So yeah, it's about recognition. Like where
Yes.
you're out there and people remember your name.
Yes.
So it's worth doing for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
cool.
LinkedIn,
So
in LinkedIn, I follow a lot of my clients, my prospect. I follow a lot of things on LinkedIn. So whenever I came to know something good about any particular person, even if he or she is not my client, I just say congratulations and all these things, like what a great achievement. I mean, this is the way I just communicate with them,
Yeah,
just to keep in touch.
that's a good channel. So, what about Google advertisement? Do you do that? Do you think it's actually useful?
Not yet. We haven't done it. No, no. Google Ad or PPC, we haven't done it. No.
Yeah, we are. I mean, again, I no longer work in pure consultancy, but since we work with many customers, I feel like Google PPC
Mm.
is very. It's a science. First of all, it's a science unto itself. Like either you know how to do it very well, or it just doesn't work. You get zero leads because you're too down in the results, and it's and secondarily, it feels like Google advertisements really only works for platform. I don't know how to phrase this. Things that people already know exist. So if you have a really new product that's in a super new niche, people are not going to find you because
Correct.
they don't know what they're looking for. So you have to show them. Google PPC, I think, in my opinion, really only works if you're entering a space that already has a established players and even maybe a product name people can Google.
Mm-hmm.
So
Maybe yes.
again, the Zoom thing, I don't like I mean I will mention Zoom, doesn't matter to me. It's we're on the business, we're all trying to make this just grow, so it doesn't really matter. But people Google for Zoom or Zoom alternatives or that kind of stuff, so that's where you can go hit a that's where you can go hit someone and find yourself contacts from Google. Otherwise it's really not going to work. It's like even your e-learning platform is probably special enough that going for Google PPC will not get you much because then people
Mm.
don't know, well, what's the difference? So if you show it on LinkedIn in a post, people will immediately know, oh, I like this. Let me use that. So it's, I think it's worth saying. I don't know if
Yes.
you agree
Yes.
with that, but it's, plus it's super expensive. PPC is,
PPC,
yeah,
yeah, expensive. It's
yeah,
very
for
expensive.
you need to really know what you're doing because otherwise you're just burning money.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So
So,
apart from that, yeah,
yeah,
we are
go ahead.
also working on a billing product.
Mm,
Billing product, like it is we can say soft switch, which is built in purely in free switch, Lua, and front end is in PHP. So we are working on that, and we have a few clients who are happy, very very happy with us. They are using this as a billing, their billing, billing platform. So this is one of the thing I wanted to inform you, that we are also working on class 4 soft switch, but it is not a wholesale soft switch. It is a retail kind of soft switch, where
mm.
an individual customer can use it for his billing only.
Oh, that's, yeah, it's got a lot of features.
Yes,
And this is
there
mainly
are.
FreeSWITCH powered by Lua, right?
Yes, Lua and free switch. Yes, correct.
Yeah, Lua is something I recommend looking into very often. I personally prefer running, well, you haven't probably run into that, but there's an XML module called mod XML curl that allows you to control FreeSWITCH from a web app. I
Hmm.
generally run that, but that's because I come from a background where we used to run a large number of simple applications, not a one complete soft switch with a lot of features. It was maybe one app that will do the same thing on every call, but it will be a million calls an hour. So
Correct.
that scales it a bit better. Well, if you're doing complicated stuff, absolutely go for Lua. Absolutely play with FreeSWITCH and Lua. It's the best way to start, in my opinion. I've never
Yes.
ever had an issue with that. Great. So, well, is there any other products you'd like to highlight? Any other things you'd like to highlight about your company? And, or rather, let me ask you something that will help people on a product. How do I approach you about a project? Like, what do I need? What's your typical project size so that people can reach out to you right away?
I mean, there is no, I mean, typical size. I would say, we work like we target small to medium businesses. So even if it is like $1,000 project or $100,000, we would like to happily serve you. So there is not a cost is not a matter for us. But yeah, problem solving. Yeah, I mean, if you have any problem, we are happy to solve. So that is where all the box stops. So if you have any problems, like you are facing any problem in your current system, or if you have any idea, like I want to build this and this, like this, it should look like
Mhm.
this, you can definitely approach it. In FreeSWITCH, in WebRTC, in Kamailio, and OpenSIPs, we are available to work for you.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Kamailio. People are gonna need
Kamailio.
some. I love Kamailio, but it's hard to use. So there's certainly something. Okay, so any project sides, any stage of your company, reach out to Bhaskar, and well, and if there's anything you like on SignalWire, maybe reach out to Bhaskar too, so we can work together.
Thank you.
Cool. So, thank you for joining us today, Bhaskar. It was a great chat as always. We went over what your company offers, a little bit of consulting, marketing, very important marketing tips like what to start from, what not to use, and what your platform stack is. So, really, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much as well. No, I'm very very privileged to have you here.
No
Happy,
problem.
very happy.
It's been great for us too. So, thank you, Bhaskar Metikel, founder and co-owner at Vindaloo Softtech. And for the rest of the other people, I'll see you next week. Goodbye.